Originally located in the Lakeside Methodist Church at Northwest 66th and May Avenue, Birth Choice grew rapidly. The need for additional space prompted a move to 3021 Southwestern, known to many as the Little Yellow House, where the organization operated until May 2005. As the client list and services expanded, the organization opened an office in Bethany. The Edmond office opened in 1993. The Norman office joined us in 2001, along with other affiliates nationwide. The growth of Birth Choice continues. Since 1973, Birth Choice, which originally thought it would operate as a referral service, found itself providing services that simply didn't exist for pregnant women in Oklahoma.
I became involved in the pro-life movement in 1972. I had suffered a miscarriage and was at home, and a friend of mine came to visit me, and she brought me the Handbook on Abortion by Dr. Jack and Barbara Wilkie. I didn't want to read the book, for I was suffering too much pain, and I so desperately had wanted a baby. But as I began to read the book, I couldn't put it down, and then I couldn't believe that abortion might be made legal. And so I said I needed to do something about it. I knew that I needed to live my faith. I also knew that God was calling me. I decided that I would join the organization and see what I could do. When I contacted Dr. McManus, who had been the speaker, he told me that they were starting a crisis pregnancy center, and it was Birthright, which had been founded by Louise Summerhill in Toronto, Canada in 1968. And she believed that it was the right of every mother to give birth and the right of every child to be born. And with that in mind, we started at Lakeside United Methodist Church with 2 folding chairs and a telephone.
I'm Ellen Roberts, director of the Rose Home, a group home for homeless pregnant women. We were opened in 1986 by Birth Choice, who up until that point in time used mutual assistance housing, where volunteers opened their homes to pregnant women. This was a godsend for many women, but it also posed problems when these women had other children. So at this point in time, Birth Choice opened Rose Home, where we provide shelter, food, transportation, education, job placement. We also help with really practical things like driver's license, GED, high school diploma. We provide counseling for all the women in the home. We provide parenting classes for the women in the home, and then other educational and enrichment opportunities. These are just a few of the resources that we offer to the women in the home. After they've had their baby, we help them find safe and affordable housing, and they do stay in the Rose Home until that point in time. On this year's anniversary of Roe v. Wade, I wanted to share something invaluable that I've learned over the past 2 years. It's not something I realized I was learning, or something I read in a manual, something I watched in a video, or saw in a brochure. It's so much more powerful. The key to helping a mother choose life for herself and her baby is to give her the support, encouragement, love, and self-worth she needs to do so. It's not showing her a video or telling her she will murder her baby if she has an abortion. It's giving that mother the practical means to choose life and to support herself and her baby. That doesn't mean it will be easy, but how committed am I to that baby if all I want to do is tell that mom what to do and offer her no other support? And how much like Christ am I if I don't offer her support no matter the choice she makes? I've been so blessed to be at Birth Choice for these past 2 years and see these things lived out every single day. And that is what Rose Home is about, loving these mothers and these babies and giving them the practical means to choose life.
As the challenges of the 90s began, the direction of our agency also changed. In May of '94, the Board of Directors adopted a new name. Birth Choice of Oklahoma was launched. A new declaration of principles and bylaws were written. The ideals, goals, and methods of operation from the original organization were expanded to incorporate and facilitate the operation of Rose Home, along with special requirements for operating crisis pregnancy centers in Oklahoma.
Birth Choice exists to provide any pregnant woman, concerned friend or family member compassionate dialogue, one-on-one help, and nurturing support. Volunteers and staff members provide each woman whatever practical assistance is necessary to help her realize her worth and that of her unborn child. With help from Birth Choice, she can choose the gift of life, simultaneously finding enrichment and spiritual healing. Support is given in a loving, personal, non-judgmental, and strictly confidential way to meet the specific needs of each individual. Volunteers practice the principle of love without indictment, extending compassion and a listening ear, giving each woman whatever is necessary in order for her to choose life for her unborn child. Birth Choice also makes a concerted effort to coordinate with existing agencies throughout the state so that no duplication of services occurs.
It is January 22nd, 1973. The Supreme Court makes its Roe v. Wade decision. Thus begins the Holocaust of the killing of unborn children. Who immediately recognized the consequences of this moral outrage and set about promptly to stem the tide of deaths that would inevitably follow the court's decision? Who set their faces like flint against this tsunami by providing help to women? It was a small group of faith-filled women. On March the 5th, 1973, they had organized their efforts under the name of Birthright. After they had become a functioning group, I was asked to serve on their governing board. Along with others of the board, we had the duty and pleasure of advising and assisting these determined volunteers to continue their life-saving work. Since these early years, Birth Choice has led the effort to assist women to give birth to their babies. Presently, the 4 Birth Choice centers in Oklahoma City metropolitan area see 7,000 women annually.
Birth Choice began an ultrasound program on November 1st, 1998, with a used but serviceable ultrasound machine. Since that time, the ultrasound program has grown considerably. Several other used machines have been donated over the years. Funds were included in the Beacon of Life Capital Campaign Fund to purchase a new state-of-the-art ultrasound machine in conjunction with Focus on the Family. In 2012, the Knights of Columbus funded 2 new ultrasound machines. Ultrasonography is very effective in helping women choose life. The images seen through ultrasonography of unborn babies leave indelible imprints on the hearts and minds of all who see them. In 2006, Birth Choice began prenatal clinics in our Edmond and South offices.
In the fall of 2003, Birth Choice began its first ever Beacon of Life capital campaign. The goal of the campaign was to provide funding for the new facility for the Southside Oklahoma City office and to establish funds for an endowment ensuring the future operations of the organization. The hand of God was visible at every turn. By August 2004, funds had been raised for the building. Groundbreaking ceremonies were held and construction began in September at 4701 Southwestern. The beautiful new 5,500 square foot building was finished and dedicated on Mother's Day 2005 by Archbishop Beltran.
Birth Choice of Oklahoma Incorporated is a nonprofit 501c3 charitable organization and is registered with the Charities and Solicitations Board of Oklahoma. Birth Choice is supported primarily by private contributions, all of which are tax deductible. Over 85% of Birth Choice funds come from small donations. The overall operating budget for the 4 metropolitan Oklahoma City centers and for Rose Home is prepared on an annual basis. The other state centers are responsible for their own finances. The operating expenses for Birth Choice of Oklahoma has grown incredibly since 1973. Birth Choice is almost totally funded by gifts from donors. With the help of our benefactors, Birth Choice provides free pregnancy testing, maternity and infant clothing, diapers and formula as available, counseling and referrals when needed, community service coordination, transportation assistance, housing through Rose Home, access to medical care through our prenatal assessment clinics, ultrasonography, and an on-site Hispanic translator. Birth Choice also offers programs on abstinence and post-abortion counseling.
Women will continue to need our services, regardless of the status of the abortion issue. Over the last 40 years, I have seen and heard unbelievable stories of faith, strength, perseverance, courage, and tenacity. I have witnessed miracles with the women and volunteers. We have become a family of love and support for our mothers and their children. I continue to keep in contact with many of the women who have graced our doors. I am always amazed at the heroic actions they take for life. It is not a question of when life begins. It is a question of when love begins.